Today we begin our review of the parts of speech. I know that a lot of you guys feel like you have mastery in this, but I still ask that you watch the video and take detailed notes on the 8 parts of speech review handout or on the PDF version on your iPad. You need this as a foundation for the other grammar that we're going to be covering throughout the term. If things go too quickly for you or you don't understand something, make sure that you pause the video or you rewind. You want to make sure you get as much detail out of this as possible so you pass the exit quiz in as few takes as possible. As you can see, there are 8 parts of speech. Nouns and pronouns are the subjects or objects of a sentence. Verbs are the action or state of being in a sentence. Adjectives and adverbs give further detail to another word in a sentence. Conjunctions link like elements of a sentence together. Prepositions define the relationship between a noun and another word in a sentence. And interjections have no real grammatical function, but they add mood to a sentence, like oh boy or oh darn. Today, though, all that you have to worry about is nouns and pronouns. As we cover them, what you will be expected to know by the end of this lesson is how to define a noun, identify normal and compound nouns, classify a noun as either proper or common, and discern whether a noun is a concrete noun or an abstract noun. For pronouns, you'll be able to define what a pronoun is, identify pronouns and their antecedents, antecedent being the word that is replaced by a pronoun, so the noun it refers back to, and classify a pronoun as either personal, reflexive, or indefinite. A noun is used to identify a person, place, thing, and I put thing in fear quotes because it's such a vague word, or an idea. So thing is tangible, something that can be touched, idea is not. So examples of person, mother, man, or Mr. Rogers. A place would be a playground, the USA, or the ocean floor. A thing, yo-yo, desk, Statue of Liberty. This would also include any kind of plant or animal or object. And ideas are concepts, so these are things that we cannot touch, but we know they exist because we have them in our heads. So, quick quiz, go ahead and identify what category each of these sets of nouns falls under. I'll give you about 5 seconds. All right, time's up. Obviously, student, teacher, and brother Chris are persons. Monrovia School and Galaxy are places. Adoration, intellect, and understanding are ideas because they don't physically exist, but we know they're there. And Pony, Road, and Booger are all things. Proper nouns name specific persons, places, or things and are always capitalized. So if you look at my list of common nouns, these are general: artist, city, motorcar, faith, or institution. If I'm being more specific, I'm talking about Leonardo da Vinci for an artist, Pasadena as a specific city, Toyota Camry as a specific make and model of a car, Christianity as a specific faith or religion, and LaSalle High School as a specific institution. Common nouns, again, are just a group of persons, places, or things, or a singular person, place, or thing, but it is not the specificity that you see with these capitalized ones over here. Now, concrete noun is an object that can be perceived by the 5 senses, so smell, taste, sight, sound, or feel. If you look at this curb, obviously is the thing that you have to step off of to get into the street. Bark could be either bark on a tree, which can be seen, felt, or smelled, or bark like a dog, which you can hear. Desk, heat, obviously. Piquantness, that's spiciness like of food, and luminosity is how well something is lit. These are all perceptible by our senses. An abstract noun is where the concept of an idea comes into place. It's a feeling, a quality, or a characteristic. So love, that's a feeling, it's an emotion, it's something that we know exists within us, but we cannot actually touch it. Greatness, intelligence, charisma, those are all things that we tell about, or attributes rather, we assign to people, but they can't be held in your hand. And time is an interesting one because we know time passes, we can feel it creep by, as we say, but it doesn't exist in a physical sense. So, quick quiz. Label these top ones as either common or proper, and label these bottom ones as abstract or concrete. I'll give you 10 seconds. Okay, for the top, Cat is common because it could be any cat. My wife has 2 cats. If I wanted to make it proper, I would say she has Hemingway and Gordy. Those are their names. Peru is proper because it is a specific country, meaning country here is general and therefore common. And McDonald's is proper because it is a specific restaurant. Now, love, as we already discussed, is an abstraction. Idea is an abstraction. Hour, as a form of time, is an abstraction. And of course, cat is concrete because we can touch it, see it, hear it. I suppose you could smell and taste it too, but that would be creepy. A compound noun consists of 2 or more words used together as a singular noun. One of the parts of it must be a noun. One part may be an adjective, though, giving further detail. So when I say motor car, motor and car are both nouns. Homework, home and work are both nouns. But with Superman, super is an adjective. However, collectively it is this proper noun of Superman. Sometimes they have 2 words or more, like peanut butter, hair salon, or vice president. And sometimes they're hyphenated. Hyphenated words are kind of tricky. If you're using one, just make sure that you're not over-hyphenating. A lot of these are being done by the wayside. For example, electric mail, also known as email, is no longer necessarily hyphenated, so instead of e-mail, most people just write email as a singular word. It is, however, still a compound noun. Now, pronouns replace one or more nouns. The thing that it replaces is called an antecedent. That literally means that which steps before. However, sometimes the antecedent is later in the sentence than the actual pronoun. Examples of personal pronouns are I, me, my. Those are for the first person. You and your are second person. He, his, him. She, her, hers. They, them, theirs. We, our, us. Those would all be the third person. Well, actually, no. First person would be we, us. These would all be third person. I'm sorry about that. Reflexive always ends in self because it's something that someone is doing to themselves, or him or herself. And indefinite, I throw these out there because you need to be careful when you use these specifically in your formal writing. By indefinite, it means it's not pointing to anything specifically, it's replacing kind of a broader group. You want to be more specific, so make sure that whenever you're using an indefinite pronoun, it's absolutely necessary. Otherwise, sometimes you can cloud the meaning of whatever your writing is. In these examples, I and I are both pronouns replacing me, but it'd be weird if I said Mr. Laird loves his self or Mr. Laird loves myself. I don't know. It's just awkward. So in this case, myself is referring back to I, and my is the possessive pronoun referring back to I. Myself, again, would be reflexive because loving is being done to me. Brother Chris says he must speak with you regarding your behavior in class. You and your, again, are both personal pronouns. However, the only one with an antecedent in this sentence is he, and Brother Chris would be your antecedent. Be happy you have me instead of Mrs. Moore this semester. She is a meanie beanie fofini. You and me are both personal pronouns, but they don't have an antecedent within the sentence. However, she has the antecedent of Mrs. Moore. And finally, grammar is important because it will help you in your writing. You and your, again, personal pronouns. However, it is the only pronoun that has an antecedent, in this case, grammar. So, quick quiz. Find the pronouns and their antecedents in each of the following sentences. I'll give you 10 seconds. All right, I gave you 12. You cheated. In the first sentence, you have Hunter and Carlos as your antecedents. There refers back to both Hunter and Carlos. It's a collective personal pronoun. And it's actually the possessive personal pronoun. And them is the objective personal pronoun referring back to Hunter and Carlos. In the second sentence, you have the personal pronoun, and it's possessive, of his, referring back to Michael. And in the third sentence, you have he as a personal pronoun referring back to Peter. So, now that you've watched this video, if you need to rewatch it, feel free to. I would recommend that you do the practice sections on pages 1 and 2 of the 8 Parts of Review handout. 8 Parts of Speech Review handout, sorry. You have to take the homework quiz Nouns and Pronouns on Blackboard until you're satisfied with your grade. I'd say take it and retake it until you get 100%. It should not be that difficult. If you need to go back and watch the video as you do that, you are welcome to. This will be shut down when your next class begins, though, so make sure you do it ahead of time. And once you have done both the practice on the handout, if you feel you needed to, and you have definitely taken the homework quiz so you get credit, complete the noun and pronoun exit survey. It'll only take you about a minute, and basically it's going to tell me if you feel like you have a reasonable proficiency in this or if you feel you need more class time devoted to review. Layer it out.